We're standing right now at the precipice of the complete collapse of democracy. We're fooling ourselves by thinking that a single election cycle will somehow fix everything. Our institutions are crumbling because, after all, what are institutions except their concepts, their ideas that can only be turned into a reality through people. People can make an institution real. And what are we seeing? We're seeing it just fall apart right before our eyes. We see that the institutions that should keep Trump in check are absolutely gone. And we must stop thinking in terms of, if not Trump, then this would not have happened. Try to imagine what would have happened had Hillary won. What would the Republicans have done? You saw under Obama how they blocked everything possible, including the hearing for a Supreme Court justice. They kept Scalia's seat open for a year. They did everything to block everything that Obama had done. What would have been different if Hillary was president? The answer is it would have been worse than things were under Obama. The collapse that we're seeing was decades in the making. One could say it literally began the day that FDR actually saved capitalism, but capitalism thought that he was working against their interests. There's an interesting book called Dallas 1963, and it's well worth reading. And it's not a Kennedy assassination book, though, of course, the Kennedy assassination does come up in that particular book. What's interesting is that it looks at Dallas from 1960 to 1963, and nearly every harebrained idea that we are living with now, you can see its genesis there in Dallas in the 1960s. It was all there. So what we're facing has been decades in the making, and a single election is not going to fix it. I don't really know how a single election will somehow rein in Trump. So let's assume there is this blue wave or something like that. So now Congress has all these investigations going. What will happen next? Will he not fire Sessions and try and remold the Justice Department? Look at it this way. Trump has successfully remolded the entire executive branch. It is now beholden to him. There are secret government officials that do things that we have no clue about. We know who they are. It's Jared and Ivanka. We have no clue what they do. We have no clue what secret intelligence, Jared might be selling in order to prop up his own failing, businesses, specifically real estate. And the Devil's Building, 666. Oh, God is telling us, look at the number of the building, 666. Take a hint. But no, it seems like we just don't take the hint. So we need to be thinking much further than simply the next election cycle. Because the next election cycle, what is it really going to accomplish? Yes, we'll have a few more congressional investigations and so on, but really? What else will it do? It will not fix the executive branch. Look at the people that have been pushed out or fired from the FBI. people with massive amounts of counterintelligence expertise have been pushed out. Look at this whole thing with the withdrawing of security clearances and so on. Rachel Maddow had raised the point that the idea of pulling security clearances went back to July, since the very document released by the White House had a date of July. So why did they do it at the time that they did it and not back in July? Well, it was a distraction from what's going on with the Manafort trial and so on. Things are going to get much, much worse. And people have to think, what are they willing to do? What are they able to do? Look, we're not going to take up muskets or something like that, and storm the hill or something like that. But people need to think what it is within their capability. What can they do beyond just voting? Is it making phone calls to senators and congressmen? Is it actively participating in protests? Participating in taking over a politician's office until you get, until you get their attention. Look, they're supposed to be theoretically working for us, representing us, but also representing the better interests, the higher interests. There are a lot of things I did not like about McCain, now past tense. And some have said, okay, his heart was kind of in the right place, because he was very concerned about America and where the country is going. I get that. And he made crappy decisions, like Sarah Palin as running mate. Even if that decision was pushed upon him, he should have pushed back enough to say, no, that's something I won't do. But he did it anyway. We need to think how far we are willing to go in our own way, in our own capacity, to rebuild the democracy that has been completely destroyed. Because you can be sure that after the midterm elections, assuming there's something of a little bit of a blue wave, there's going to be a hell of a lot more going on in terms of trying to push Sessions out, firing Sessions, and so on. Things are going to get a lot worse. Prepare yourself.